I've got a questioner on either side to come on back.
I'd just like to quickly come back to that gentleman's question there. But when the Andrews government pulled the pin on the East-West link, and just quickly too, there's a cause and effect thing going on here. The election of the Andrews government was the icing on the cake of finishing the East-West link. It was the community campaign which made that happen. So let's not confuse these things. The same as the Rand government stopping the demolition of Glebe was on the back of the people of Glebe and Annandale making sure that was the only way they could govern. So we put that as well. $2 billion, sorry, Andrews government, they paid $1.2 billion in fines basically over breaking those arrangements. So there will be a cost. There will be a cost to stopping WestConnex, even in terms of the legality. Anthony's quite right, contracts have been signed. My point, though, is those contracts need to be broken. If that comes at a cost, we know who to pay. But those breaches will be less damaging to our community than spending all of that money building that road. Anthony's quite right. The way we build this movement is by building alliances. I want to recognise that there's many Labor Party members in the room tonight, all of whom care as much about WestConnex as anyone else in the room. I'm not in the business of dividing people, I am in the business of uniting people. I think the issue here is not Anthony as a person, he lives into. It's about the politics of the major parties, and it's about how we look at genuine alternatives. That doesn't mean dividing anyone who's here for the right reasons.
Just one point on contracts. The way that projects like this work is that the contract will be with the state government. That's what happened in terms of Andrews. The federal government's participation is just between the state government. So the federal government isn't a party to contracts with the Laytons and the Acorns, etc. of this world, is the way that it would normally work.
Now Mr. Albanese is giving generously of his time here. He does have another appointment to go to. What I'm going to suggest is that the lady in the middle here and the gentleman over there who have been patiently waiting, could you please put your questions briefly one after the other, and then we'll invite Mr. Albanese to answer them before he's got to go.
I actually wanted to ask a question of Wendy Bacon, if you wouldn't mind. Our learned journalist friends here. I wonder, has this horse not already bolted? You're talking about your friend's house that's already been demolished. We know of contracts that have been signed, deposits paid, construction already has begun. What can we do? Wendy?
First of all, I'd like to just make it clear what the situation is with the federal funding, because I don't want you to feel too pessimistic about that. As of the 26th of April, I asked through normal channels the Federal Department of Investment what exactly the situation was. They said the $2 million loan is a signed agreement, which can certainly be broken. A signed agreement as of November 2015, not what you were told. Also that the money from 2014-15 had not been paid down, yet that was $300 million, and then there is the rest of it. So that came from the head of the department to me as a journalist. Now what else can we do? We can keep this issue. It is true. It is beginning. It's beginning out on Kingsgrove and it's beginning in Auburn, and that has been happening for a year, and there's a lot of devastation there. That doesn't mean this project can't be stopped. There is a hell of a long way to go. Yes, there's some houses being demolished. We have to try to stop that by physical action, by legal action, by all means possible. We must fight this every metre of the way and not give up. You can see last weekend it's already beginning to unravel. The contractors aren't being paid. This company is owned by a company in Spain that could be in trouble for all we know. There is all sorts of things that can go wrong, and we can fight it through also our elected representatives, but as well as that, we need to make sure it is in the media, as I said, every day. And by our occupations, we have managed to, it is interesting, the journalists are getting behind us in the sense that when we take action, they do get up on a Sunday morning and actually come and get the footage and put it on television so that people in Western Sydney, people across Sydney, begin to learn what a disastrous process this is. Because unless we do that, that the media won't be telling them.
There's a gentleman here who epitomises the word patience. Please, sir.
Thanks. Look, I'm also a member of the Greens. I was the former mayor of Ashfield and a Haddonfield resident. And I'd just like to acknowledge all the work that Anthony has done as a local member. I really value that, and I really respect what you've done. But what I would like to know, and I think setting up Infrastructure Australia was fantastic, and your commitment to evidence-based decision-making is commendable. But I want to go back to 2013, when you committed to spend $1 billion on WestConnex if it went to the CBD. What evidence did you base that decision on? And do you feel that you have any culpability for getting us where we are today?
No, have a look at the budget. Have a look at the budget and whether any money was ever put in the budget. There was a process whereby...
You didn't get elected.
$1 billion. March
You were going to put $1 million and you got elected.
I think, you know, I'm the only Labor person on this platform. We've had Greens councillors and others asking questions. I think I can get to answer it if that's okay. Is that okay?
What was the evidence?
Well, the Greens aren't the community, my friend. You were elected and said you'd stop it.
What evidence?
You're in state parliament where it exists.
You answer the question. What evidence?
Can I say this? We made no promises and never put anything in any budget unless it had been through the Infrastructure Australia process. Full stop. That's why there was nothing in. You talk about 2013. I was the minister in 2013. There was no money in the 2013 budget for construction for this project. The fact is that not a single dollar of funding from the Labor government went into WestConnex construction, and not a single dollar will go into construction of WestConnex under a Labor government. Can I acknowledge that, you know, I was wrong. It's not 12 months, a year ago, it's 9 months ago that the contract was signed in terms of, well, it's not 6. Okay, well, 7, 8, whatever. It was signed last year, the contract. If Wendy can produce something on one of the many blogs saying that a federal government minister or department says that a contract isn't binding, then that would be remarkable. That's why the Victorian government had to, in spite of the fact that the coalition government signed in caretaker mode just about the East West Link, had to pay more than $1 billion as a result of not proceeding with the East West project in Melbourne. But the fact is that when we were in government, we had proper planning for projects that received money that was put in the budget, like the Parramatta Epping Rail Link, were projects that had been through those processes. That's what we did, and that's why we funded. In terms of Sydney, I've gone through the things that we actually funded. You know, did we fund any of the extension that's here? No, it didn't occur. What we were looking at, you might recall, here just down the road, was metro projects, and we funded also planning for metros that didn't go ahead. $95 million for the Western Metro was the deal, but we did that, and the state government were going to do Rozelle. Might I also say that the former state Labor government, whatever its other failings, didn't come up with this proposal. And the other reason why this proposal is so costly, as I think one of the other speakers said, Matt, I think it was, about it feeding on itself. Part of the increase in cost of this project is that they're actually going to build in, close to St Peters, a stub for a future F6. So they're already planning the next bits of roads, rather than looking at what is really required for Sydney, which is an update of the public transport system. There are roads that are required in Sydney as well. I was at an announcement yesterday, Appin Road, very important project in Sydney, Sydney Southwest. I'm not opposed to all roads funding. I'm not opposed I am opposed to funding that doesn't get it right, and I want to see the right outcomes. Sorry, I was told this originally, Liz came back up here, I was available from 6 to 7, so I guest speaker at another function at Rudy Hill tonight. I was due to speak in 7 minutes. I don't think I'm going to make it, no matter what the road system, so I am going to have to depart.
All right, thank you, Mr. Albanese. Panelists, let me just draw your attention to the fact that I believe there's a petition to try to get the new Inner West Council under its unelected leadership to maintain the opposition to this project of the 3 councils which have now been destroyed. So.